here. And so it's going to be super fun, but we got to close out the month strong, right? And so one of the things I want to start with is this, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but sometimes you just need to hear it from somebody else. How you end your month is how your month will begin, right? And some of the traps I see people get caught in at the end of the month is that if they're not super close to where they want to be personally, they kind of get in their head a little bit about maybe they just will wait until the first so that that volume will count for them the next month. And here's what I want to say about that getting started is that anytime you give someone, Kim, do you mind doing the mute and then I'll unmute myself? Let me know. Let me unmute. Okay. Anytime you don't, hang on a minute. What now? Could you do that again, Kim, to make sure we don't have background noise?
I got it. They just came in. I got it.
Okay, perfect. Anyways, anytime you give people an opportunity to change their mind, they likely will. And so you need to treat every conversation as if it could be the last conversation you have with them for them to make a buying decision. And by buying decision, I mean whether it's to buy a product from you or join you in business, right? How many of you have not followed up quickly enough with someone and they made a purchase of a different product from someone else? Raise your hand. How many of you didn't follow up quickly enough with someone and then your heart sank when you seen they had joined a different MLM? Okay, so there we go. That's all the proof we need that what I'm telling you is true. And so I want you to treat your follow-ups as if you didn't, that they wouldn't join you or purchase your product, okay? And so this is what we're going to do at month end. We're going to follow up with people that we've already talked to. And I'm going to give you some different variations of this follow-up and what this can look like. And then I'm also going to give you some tips. Emily and I were on a Zoom last night, and she's actually going to be doing a team training on this. But this idea came for the people who were terrified to reach out to people. How many of you are like cold messaging makes you want to just quit MLM altogether? You're just like, I'll just quit if I have to send a cold message, right? Like you're like, I'm out. Like I just don't have it in me, right? So there's a strategy that Emily's working on that is going to help those that have that fear, okay? But follow-ups can look like this. So the first follow-up is people that you actively are having conversations with, okay? And this means if you've been talking about product, I want you to message them and I want you just to say, okay, we're talking like it's Aaron. Aaron, hey, I know you and I've been talking about this DHS. Can I help you get started on that today? Like, stop dancing around the issue and just ask them the question, because everyone is on social media selling something and everyone is on social media buying something. And so if they're not buying from you, it's because you're not following up enough, okay? Because they will buy from someone else, right? And here's the deal. There's a lot out there for them to choose from. If they're not choosing you, it's because you're not talking to them enough and making sure that they have the information that they need to make the buying decision, okay? If you've been talking to them about the opportunity, maybe the reason they haven't said yes to you yet is because you haven't gotten to the reason why they need to join you yet, right? So what is the reason? You need to ask more leading questions. So if I'm talking to Kim Hollinshead and Kim and I, we're going to pretend Kim's not in the business, and Kim tells me, right, that she needs the extra income because she's been laid off from her job, but then she's not making a decision. My go-to comment to Kim needs to be, Kim, if you've been laid off and you need to make income, how can I help you do that if I can't get you to say yes and partner with me? What changes if nothing changes? Some of you are holding back on this very simple conversation that you need to have with someone because I think maybe you're a little bit afraid of how you'll look, when you should, in fact, be more afraid that their life won't drastically change if you don't have that conversation with them, right? So Bree's on here today. Bree, how many people do you think in your time that you've been in the industry how many lives do you think have been impacted? Just, and I know you don't know this number exactly, but just roughly how many number of lives do you think have been impacted because you said yes to the industry?
Hundreds of thousands.
Okay, hundreds of thousands of people. Did you hear that? Now, that's the ripple effect of her saying yes, and then someone else saying yes, and someone else saying yes. But that's also, hear me out here, that's also the ripple effect of someone following up. How many lives can your life touch because you just followed up with one person? I shared this story last night on a training with Sonara, and then I'm going to give you guys some more tips on what you can be doing to close out your month strong. Is my friend Jolie Patty Poor, who is the person that recruited me into network marketing. She had never recruited anyone else before me, and she never recruited anyone else after me. Okay, she actually got out of the industry. Isn't that funny, right? The same is true, by the way, not the exact same story, but do you know the person that recruited Bree at Trinot doesn't actually work the business? Okay, so I say that so that you understand. Some of you think that you have to be bigger than you are to recruit someone bigger than you are, and that's simply not the truth. Sometimes you just have to put the information in front of the person and follow up with the person, right? And then get the person, right, immediately in touch with someone that can help them make that decision. So immediately, Jen Dowd got involved with Bree. Immediately when I came to the table, they got Bree, they got Jen involved. When Aaron Parker came to the table, immediately I got Jen and Bree and Kylie and Craig involved, right? You've just got to get people involved if you're bringing people to the table. And it doesn't have to be, by the way, an Aaron, a Tina, a Bree, because we don't know who's going to be the next Aaron, who's going to be the next Bree, who's going to be the next Tina. You should be using your upline to help you close people. That's going to be another task I'm going to have you do, right? Just say, hey, listen, can I put you in a chat with my friend Aaron and just let him share his story with you? Sometimes they just need to hear another story. Maybe they just need to know that you're reliable enough to follow up with them. How many of you want to be under a strong leader? Raise your hand if you want to be under a strong leader. Like, it matters to you if your leader shows up for you. Like, I'm never concerned. If I text Bree right now and said, hey, I've got somebody I'm talking to, can I get you on with them? I already know Bree's answer, right? Maybe they're looking for that in you. Maybe you're looking for that in you. Maybe the reason you aren't where you want to be in your business is because you aren't showing up the way that you know you could and should show up so that your results matches the dream that you said you had. And that all falls into 3 areas. Talking to new people. Write this down. How many new people are you talking to? How many people are you following up with? And how many people are you talking to that you already have brought in and getting them to an event? Those 3 things right there pay you more than anything else in network marketing. Getting people to events, following up with people, and talking to new people. Also, what are you doing on your social media that would attract someone who you're talking to privately to make them want to join you? How many of you, if you go look at my profile, does it look like I'm in business? Does it look like I'm in business? Like, if you go to any of Tina Joy Carroll's profile, are you ever questioning if Tina Joy Carroll is in business or not? Can you say the same thing about you? This isn't to make you feel bad. This is just for you to understand there's a big picture here, okay? If you're talking to people in Messenger about doing the thing or buying the thing, but they go to your profile, your stories, whatever, and they don't see the thing, why would they want to do the thing with you? And here's the really cool thing. That Telegram channel that several people are contributing content. You got Sonara contributing, you got me contributing, you've got several other people in the team contributing. You don't even have to make the content. You just have to go save it to your phone and post it to show up to be in business, right? So here's what we're going to do today. Okay. Here's and here's the thing. You can do this in 15-minute increments throughout your day, because I know some of you have jobs, some of you have kids, some of you have super busy lives, and you've got to work this in the cracks of your day, okay? You can do this. If you are very intentional about the time you spend on your phone, you won't waste any time on your phone, okay? You can set up 15-minute increments throughout your day, 20-minute increments throughout your day. I don't care the number, you decide the number, but I need you doing it a few times a day, okay? Where? For 20 minutes, set an alarm. All I'm going to do is follow up with the people that I've talked to. The next 20 minutes. For 20 minutes, all I'm going to do is reach out to new people. And Emily's going to jump. She didn't know I was going to do this to her. She's probably going to kill me after that, but it's okay. Emily's going to jump on with me here in a minute. We're going to give you some tips on how you can reach out to new people that doesn't feel icky for you. Okay. Then for 20 minutes, you're going to message the team that you currently have, and you're going to find out who's coming to TLA and how you can help them make a decision to get to TLA. Because what I can tell you is the more people from your team that you have at TLA, the bigger impact you're going to have and the more money everyone's going to make. Okay. Emily, do you mind popping on with me? And let's talking a little bit about what we were talking about last night.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
All right, cool.
I'll let you start it off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we were just talking about like how awkward it is sometimes to start those new conversations. And so we're working on putting together like a strategy for you, but basically this is what it would look like. So for me, I kind of just scroll through my feed to find people that I can message. And so what you can do is if you find someone, I always look for like a certain quality. Like I'm not just messaging anyone, like if they're not super active on social media or they're negative, kind of pre-qualify that person. But then what you're going to do is you're going to comment on the post. You can also look for people in stories. So you can just kind of go through and watch stories and respond to those stories. Write their name down. And we're going to do this over a couple of days so that we can build the relationship without getting so deep into the relationship that it's now awkward to pivot. Because I have found myself in that situation before too. And so what it might look like would be, say I find somebody to comment on, and then tomorrow I will go to the same person and I will watch their stories and respond to a story. Okay, and then the next day I would write their name down, and then on the next day I would get in their inbox and I might comment on something that I saw on their post. Hey, I saw that you guys just bought a new house. That's amazing. Congratulations. Look, I don't know what you're into career-wise, and then just kind of get into the invite. And what I personally have been doing is what Sonara Brown trained on is I don't ask if I can send a video. I say, hey, really quick, I'm just going to send you a 10-minute video. You know, super short. It's just a spiel on what I do. I know you're going to be super impressed. And then I immediately add them to the Make Money group and I send them Jennifer Dowd's 10-minute video. And then I write their name down and I'm going to follow up with them tomorrow to see if they watched the video, or if they ghosted me, I'm just going to be like, hey, did you see the messages I sent above? So I'm just going to like gently nudge. So that's kind of what my flow has been looking like this week. And I've just committed to because my goal right now is just to develop the discipline of working my business every day. And so I've committed to 5 new conversations a day, 5 new invites. Okay. And so I've messaged, it will be 20 people today. That's 20 more people than I messaged last month. So when you look at it, you might think 5 is not a lot, but it is, because it compounds. And so I love this method, and I'll kind of get it down a little bit better, but basically you're just kind of loving on people on their posts and their stories, and then sliding into their inbox. So then there's not that awkwardness because they've seen your name pop up. And if you've done it twice now, they've definitely saw you. And so that way it's not as awkward for you. So
yeah. And then in addition to that, when we say that you need to have your stories with stuff in it, you need to be posting and you need to be open for business. If you're going to be commenting on their post, responding to their stories, and your name is going to be showing up in their notifications several times over a few days, this is how the algorithm naturally works, okay? When you are loving on someone, then you and them start showing up in each other's feed, okay? If you don't have anything for them to look at or to see who you are or what you're about or what it is that you have going on, the first part of what Emily's telling you really isn't going to do you a whole lot of good. Okay. Both of them go hand in hand. And so here is a simple strategy that you can do every single day. How many of you use Trinot products? Raise your hand. And if you don't, you might be on the wrong Zoom. Okay. Bree does it. How many of you know Bree has her fun little white pot, and every morning she's making her mojo, and she has her cold foam that I don't even drink mojo, but I know exactly how Bree makes hers, right? Because all she does is take her phone, sit it in front of her while she's mixing it and doing the thing. She's showing you every day that she's drinking a product that she loves every single day, right? She does the same thing with her Activate. She's making it roadies and she's taking it out with her, okay? All you have to do is sit your phone up and record yourself doing what you're already doing anyways. It's not taking you any more time to record yourself using the products that you're using and then posting it in a story or then using it to make a reel, right? And then just sharing about the benefits of what that does for somebody. The person that solves the most people's problems makes the most money, right? So how do you gauge how much money you can make in this industry? How many problems are you solving? The problems you solve start with you talking about it in Messenger, right? How many of you have seen my stories, right? I'm like, guess what time it is? It's Activate time. Activate is going to help you naturally increase the GLP-1 hormone in your gut, which is going to send a signal to your brain that you're fuller, faster, and longer. It's also going to activate your AMPK. When your AMPK is activated, it sends a signal to your brain to burn stubborn belly fat. Did you know that the fat in your belly, the visceral fat, is the most dangerous fat on your body? It's also got ingredients in it that's going to help lower your cortisol levels. You know that stress hormone? How many of you have been to the grocery store lately? Is that stressing you out a little bit? I totally get it. This is going to help lower that for you. If you would like some more info on this, just say info. I don't even have to think about it because I just say it every day, right? You can do that too. You can say it just like me. You can say it in a version for you, but you're already making it. You're already drinking it. All I'm doing is solving their problem, right? Because they're looking for a solution for less stress, to lose weight. I don't know a woman on this planet that doesn't want to lose fat from her midsection, right? 80% of people, you guys, are overweight in America. 80. That means 8 out of 10 people you know need what you have, but they don't know you have it because you're not sharing it, right? So how many of you are going to get consistent in your stories, just taking your product and talking about what it does? And let me give you a little tip. You know, Post-it notes? Before I memorized it, it was written on a Post-it note. And let me show you what I do. So I wouldn't write all of that. I did bullet points. AMPK, fat loss. GLP-1, food noise. Other ingredients, cortisol levels, stress equal spending at grocery store. Okay? Then I take it and I stick it right below the front-facing camera on my phone, like this. Then when my phone's sitting there, they see me, but they don't see my notes, okay? So pretend like it's this way. They see me, but they don't see my notes. And all I'm doing is reading it until I memorized it. It didn't take me long to memorize it, right? I'm just sticking a Post-it note on my phone right under my camera so that I see it, they don't. And I sound like I know a little bit. Here's the deal. I don't even know what the heck your AMPK is. I don't know what it stands for. I don't know what it means. If somebody asks me, I'm like, I don't know, but I'll help you find out, right? But what I do know is this, okay? This month, without a single follow-up, Hear me. Without a single follow-up, I got 19 brand new customers because I'm so consistent in my stories. How many businesses would look different on this Zoom if you got 19 customers this month without I'm not saying you still can't follow up. I'm following up for other reasons in other people's inboxes. I'm just talking about strictly because I take my products in my story so consistently. 19 people didn't even need me to follow up because we know statistically it's proven that if it takes 7 to 21 exposures for someone to make a buying decision. Honey, you follow me for 30 days, I've gotten you the 21 exposures. In 30 days, you got 21 exposures from just my stories, right? How many of you are going to start taking your products in your stories consistently and stop looking for reasons about why you can't? Guys, I do it when I look like a train wreck. I do it when I'm done up, and I do it that way intentionally. How many of you see the most put together people on social media and you're like, there ain't no way I could not be a Real Housewives of Boone County because I can't get ready every day like that. I don't have the energy, right? So if you show up at all versions of you, you're more relatable, right? So just show up as you are. And you will attract your people to you. There are people out there that can't stand me. That's okay. They're not my people. I'm not trying to attract them. I'm just trying to attract the ones that are for me, right? Your energy won't be for everybody. I see Hilly's on here. Hilly was attracted to that energy. Hilly was sold out before we had our first conversation from the energy. And then there's other people out there that would rather poke their eyeball out with a Sharpie than to talk to me. And that's okay. Right? So, who's going to start today taking their products in their stories? Then, how many of you, and guys, let me be clear about this too. This is what I want you to get real focused on too. Bree is sharing Activate and DHS. I mean, the DHS and Mojo. Like, that's what I can count on seeing in Bree's stories. I don't see Bree then sharing balance and support and optimize and all, like, I'm not confused about what Bree sells. Y'all trust me when I tell you, do you want to know what my favorite product is? Renew. Do you know how much time I spend talking about Renew? 0. I talk about the high impact products because I need people to get on a product that's going to get them a quick result so that they stay on a product, and then I can tell them about Renew and why I love Renew so much. Okay? I need you to pick products they're going to and stick to them. You're not trying to sell them the entire store, okay? You're just trying to get them in the door. Then when we get them in the door with the thing that you're going to talk about over and 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 over again, then we show them all the other amazing things that we have. Okay? So you're going to get super consistent sharing in your stories of you taking your products and talking about the problem that product solves, right? Next, you're going to go to that social media channel in Telegram, and you're going to actually download that content to your phone and share 2 or 3 pieces of it a day in your stories. Guys, that's why it's there. Social proof. Let me talk about the power of social proof for a minute with you. How many of you have ever purchased anything on Amazon? Raise your hand. How many of you, literally last night, because I'm going to the Oogie Boogie Bash, okay? If you're not a Disney person, you don't know what the Oogie Boogie Bash is, but it's a big deal. And I'm going to be Zero from The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I was looking for a white shirt to wear for my costume. The very first thing I do on every white shirt I go look at, what do you think I went and looked at? The reviews. It was very easy for me to make a buying decision off the reviews of complete strangers on the internet. And I found the shirt I wanted. You're going to use social proof in 2 ways. One, you're going to use those testimonies that are put together so beautifully for you, right? And please know, when I'm telling the girl that I'm paying to create this content, talk about the hot products only. I don't want you making I don't need a series on balance. We can teach them about balance when they're here. Then they're seeing Emily got a result, Bree got a result, Becky got a result, Sarah got a result. Not just Tina getting a result, all the other people getting a result, which, by the way, I'm about to post a new result. Y'all, do y'all want to know something so exciting? I broke 140. My scale had 3 on it. I'm so dang excited, I can't hardly stand it. You won't be able to shut me up once I get this post up. But use the proof that it's working for others in your stories. Then get them in the group. If you use, I don't care whose ATM groups you use. I know we have a lot of teams that filter on these, so I don't want to confuse any of you. If you're, whatever ATM group you are using, use one exclusively and go all in on that one, okay? And get people in those groups so they can see other people's testimonies. That is your social proof. Those are the strangers on the internet that are going to convince your people to make a buying decision. And the faster in which you use the products and solve the problem, share the social proof, and the consistency with which you do that is going to create the result that you're looking for. It really isn't rocket science. It's just consistency in doing the things that work. Okay? Let me tell you what doesn't work. Doesn't work is scrolling social media. It just sucks your time. What doesn't work is hanging out with negative people who, whether they're in the business or out of the business, they're everywhere, telling you it's not going to work or how poor, pitiful they are and where they're at. You better get around some people that are real freaking positive. Okay? How many of you have your ticket to TLA? Next, I need you to message your team. And I need you to solve the problems for your team to get to TLA. That's one of your 20-minute increments today. Who on your team has not made a decision to come yet? And trust me, I get it. Not only have I been in the position where I couldn't afford to go and had to figure out a way to go, now I'm in a position where I'm helping other people who don't feel like that they can afford to go. In all honesty, you can't afford not to go. That's been true for me. Aaron, has that been true for you in your business?
100%.
Bree, has that been true for you in your business?
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss one.
It's a non-negotiable. And we all have the same things going on. It's never convenient, the most convenient time or any of those things, right? But it's absolutely non-negotiable. So one of your 20-minute increments is going to be, right now, it's going to be getting people to TLA. When TLA isn't around, you're going to be working on getting on the next team training, the next opportunity presentation. Let me know really quickly in the comments what your current goal is rank-wise. Let me know. Put them in the comments. There's no right or wrong answer to this. I just need to know. Light it up. Let me know. I see emerald. I see diamonds. Okay. My question for you is this. We'll start with the diamonds that I've seen. How would a diamond behave? I'll never forget, I was the equivalent of a ruby at the time in the company that I was in. It was about a 10,000 a month in volume. And I was 245 pounds. I did not want to be on camera or seen on camera. I certainly didn't feel like a leader. I felt like I'd kind of fumbled my way there. How many of you get what I'm saying? You're like, I'm not real sure how I kind of got there, but I'm there and I'm not really sure what to do now that I'm there, but we're here. So this is where we're at, right? I didn't feel qualified. I didn't feel worthy. But my mentor said to me then, he said, you've got to act at the rank that you want to be long before you get there, or you'll never get there. What would a diamond do? Let me just tell you. A diamond would be showing up in their stories every single day, sharing their products. A diamond would already be signed up for an event and helping other people on their team get to an event. A diamond would be messaging Bree or Mindy or Jen or Jeff Kat, Josh, the Sings, Tina, Sarah, Parkers, whoever, and saying, next opportunity presentation you do, I want to get on it with you. I want to help. I want to help lead one. I want to share my testimony on one. A diamond would be getting in their ATM groups and they would be sharing their stories. A diamond would be taking what they've learned already and doing a training on it with the team. So Emily and I were talking last night. I was like, great. Okay, perfect. Now you go train the team on that. She's like, oh, already training the team on it now. Which one of those things do you need to be doing? And here's the thing. This is going to blow you away. How many of you have ranked quarts or higher? But just put a 1 in the chat if you've quarts or higher. Ready to have your mind blown? Do you know there are 6, 7, and 8-figure earners that signed up for Ternot that haven't even gotten that far in the comp plan yet because they're in their own way? You're already beating out people you didn't think you could beat. Because it doesn't matter what you did before. It only matters what you did today. How many of you know the one person that still talks about their glory days in high school? And you're like, for the love of God, for the love of God, could we stop? You're bald, fat, and 50. No one cares. What have you done since high school? Right? None of it matters. You've already outworked people you didn't think you could outwork. And all you do is just those same steps over and over and over again. What were those steps for you? You were excited. You were posting. You were talking to new people. You were following up with people. You were adding them to the groups. You were doing the things that produced the result. And then somewhere along the way, you just stopped doing them. And the people that don't stop doing them are the people that you say you want to be. So go be them. But be your version of them. Like, I can't be Erin, mainly because my abs don't have abs. But I can be a real good Tina Joy Carroll. Right? Just go be you and do the things. The real magic in this business for you, the real magic in a power hour for me is really just the community and culture of hanging out for a little bit and getting fed by somebody that's really going to speak some truth into you. Right? Because I want to see you win at a high level. Like, it's cool to make a lot of money. It is. It's really cool to be able to pay off debt. It's really cool to be able to take my family and pay for all 13 people in my family to go on a Disney cruise. You know what's cooler? Like, for Bree. I bet it's far cooler for Bree to get to see me experience it than it is for her to experience it. One of the things I hear Bree say all the time isn't her talking about her career high income. It's how she helps other people get their career high income. And that's what your goal needs to be. So if your income right now is $400 in Ternot, who else can you help earn $400? That'll get you to 8. And then I want to add this. And then I'll take some questions from you guys and answer some questions and help with questions, because I haven't even opened the chat and I see it's like bazonkers. So some of you think that the big money story is the story you have to tell to attract people. I can assure you, no one can relate to my story or Bree's story of the big money. That doesn't even feel humanly possible for them. It didn't even for me when I joined. I remember the lady telling me, she was like, we're making about $86,000 a month. And I was like, my God, if I could just make 1,000, my life would be so different. It didn't even occur to me that one day I could be there. I just was like 1,000 right now would save us. And so for those of you that are making $100, $200, $300, $400, whatever that looks like, you need to be talking about that. You need to be talking about how it paid for half my groceries this month. I filled up my gas tank. In this economy, how many of you, your grocery bill is more than it was 5 years ago? How many of you, your electric bill is more than it's ever been? How many of you are renting and your rent has gone up? How many of you bought a home recently and the interest rate is higher and you're paying more on a house than you would have 4 or 5 years ago? All that to say, everything costs more money. And you have the solution, $100 at a time, that will change someone's life. But you got to go talk about it. And you got to stop feeling ashamed because you aren't executive Blue Diamond like Bree. They can't even fathom they're like, but that's cool for her. I just got to pay my electric bill. Go share the small wins. They're more relatable. And somehow our brain is telling us that it's not good enough. The average person gets into this industry to make $500 to $1,000 a month. Go share those stories with people. Share it on your personal profile. And then share your wins. I was on a Zoom last night with Emily and a lady that has had is it 88 pounds she's lost now? Since August of last year.
Yeah, she's actually here. Jessica's here too.
Oh, are you on?
Yeah, she's
Where's
on.
that? I'm not seeing her on my main. Oh, you are. Hi. Hi. And so she was just sharing her story last night, lost 88 pounds since joining Trinot. And we were just coming up with ideas on different ways. I know, isn't that so exciting? Y'all just tell her congratulations. That's a huge, huge number. She's just crushing it, absolutely crushing it, okay? And she was talking about the little things that are relatable that she can share 1,000 different ways, right? If you've ever experienced weight loss, then you know what how many of you have ever had to wear a pair of Spanx and you wish you didn't ever have to wear a pair of Spanx again? Like, they're just the devil, right? Like me sharing, I never have to wear Spanx again. You just have to see my cellulite because I will never put those. Those are made by the devil, I'm convinced, okay? We were sharing little ideas about things she can share in post about her journey that is relatable. Like, how many of you avoided mirrors because you just didn't, you didn't even want to see what you look like? And now you see a reflection of yourself and you're like, okay, we're moving in the right direction, girl. Avoiding pictures. I was telling them last night, I used to avoid going out, period, in my hometown when I was 100 pounds overweight because I wasn't always overweight and I didn't want to run into anybody that I knew because my graduating class was like 600 people. So it wasn't like I came from a little small town school. I just didn't want to see anybody when I looked that way, or that I would wear layers because somehow if I had on more layers, I thought in my head it made me disappear. Right? What are the little tiny things that you're experiencing, whether it be with a product or with the opportunity, that you can share your story that will be relatable to someone else so that they'll want to buy the thing or join the thing with you? And then the other thing that you guys can do is message other people and have them go live with you. Like, people may not be able to relate where I am currently, but if I get on a live with Jessica on my profile and Jessica shares her journey, suddenly I've opened up a whole new opportunity because somebody might relate to Jessica's story. And then I can then go do it for Jessica because Jessica may have some people that can relate to my story. Are you trading out doing lives with people in the organization, trading influence with people so that they can hear other stories, more social proof, so that they can do the things. Tiffany Conley, I think, is on here. I think I've seen her comment at some point. I did a live with Tiffany Conley on my profile where she shared about just her life and her testimony and her battle with addiction and things like that. And do you know, I had a girl message me who'd been watching for years, who suddenly, because she heard Tiffany's testimony through a live we did on my profile, said, okay, I didn't know people like me did this. I want to do this now. Because she related to Tiffany's story. How many of you have had someone relate to someone else's story and that's why they joined you? Put more stories in front of them. Are you making a list of these things? So that you now have an actual game plan that you can go out and do and use. It's actually going to get you a result if and only if you do it consistently. Right? Do you know why Planet Fitness makes so much money? It's not because so many people go to the gym. It's because so many people buy a gym membership they never use. If everyone that signed up for the gym membership at Planet Fitness actually went, it would put them out of business because their equipment couldn't withstand it. They would have to be fixing stuff all the time, hire more staff, all the things. But the only way to actually get the result at the gym is to show up at it, right? The same is true in your business. When you purchase the kit, all you did was purchase the kit. Now you have to be consistent at showing up and doing it so that you can get the result. And then you got to follow up with them until they say yes. Aaron's on here. I followed up with him, and he even will tell you I didn't do it enough. But it took a year. A year. And then Bree, how many people do you believe knew you were unhappy in your current? Were you just putting it on Facebook? I'm not happy with this company anymore. I'm looking for a new opportunity.
No.
Because they would have taken your check. She couldn't have paid your bills.
Honestly, it was if they knew it was because of the lack of consistency showing up, right? Like I stopped showing up with all that. So that actually is twofolds of a story right there. If you're not showing up, people are going to think that it ain't good, right? So keep showing up. But then too, yeah, no, you will not know when someone is ready to make a move because of their social content.
Ever. So why am I saying that? I'm not telling you to go break up a happy home. Okay? But I am of the camp, and I know Bree is of the same camp. We are in network marketing. And I like to make sure the people that I know and care about know that the door is open here and what I have my hands on. Whether they say yes or no right now, I'm just planting a seed. Because you never know when what they have isn't amazing. And here's a great example. I met a girl through Disney stuff that is a top leader in a different company. She became my customer. We just talked back and forth and we're just being friends because we both love Disney. We met in a Disney group and we're just connecting. As she began to trust me, she began to open up more and share with me. And one of the things that she shared is that she's doing well over 200,000 in volume a month. And she's making $9 grand on that. And I was like, huh? I have to show you something. And so I sent her a comp plan. And I said, listen, if you're happy where you are, then stay where you are. You know I'm going to be your biggest supporter and your biggest cheerleader, and we're still going to do the Disney things. But here in this comp plan, on that same amount of money, you'd make 28,000. So I just need you to think about that. She's asking me more questions. It's never an easy decision for a big leader to make a decision like this, ever, ever, ever. And so you got to be patient and you got to still love them. But now she has the information. She's armed with the information to make a decision. And when she's ready, I already know who she's choosing. I didn't steal her, poach her, well, all the other dumb things people say out there. I just gave her some information based on the conversation we had. Back to, some of you think that you're not qualified to talk to the big leaders. Bree, how many people did do you think the lady recruited that recruited you had recruited? Like,
To hear
yeah.
me, that's it.
Oh, would you look at that? She literally told Bree, I think you should try this product. I think it'll help you. Bree did. She thought it was placebo. She didn't even think it was actually real. She's like, oh, then she gave it to her dad, right? Your dad? Dad got a result and that got her attention. A woman with an organization of 600,000 people and a girl who didn't recruit anybody else landed Bree Richardson simply because she put it in front of her. Who could you put on our products and put this information in front of that would not only change their life, but it's changed Bree's too? Because Bree was a struggling network marketer watching her business go backwards. Since then, that company has all but fell apart. Now she's made career high income and she's helped multiple people do the same thing. It didn't just bless Bree, it blessed, how many people are in your organization now, Bree?
50,000-ish.
50. Okay, and I need you to hear that number. Holy crap. She's making more money than she's ever made with 50,000 people when her last organization was 600,000 people. The power of what we have our hands on here at Trinot is so incredibly special that you should be screaming it from the rooftops. And guys, last thing I'll say is this, and we'll do 10 minutes of Q&A. I'm in the mastermind with Eric Worre with the best of the best in this industry, right? I think there's 157 of us in it from all different companies. And here's what I can tell you. It's a bloodbath out there. People are struggling. And if they're not joining you, it's because you didn't put the information in front of them. It's because you're not being loud enough about it on social media. It's because you're not telling them what you have your hands on and getting the information in their hands. You get it in their hands. And I'm telling you, people are making decisions right now that could be decisions with you if you just tell them. Okay? Now, I'll take some questions from you. If you want to unmute, you can, or you can put them in the chat, whichever you want. We'll do 10 minutes of questions, and then I got a call with Mindy and Jen. Anyone? Anyone? Do we answer them all? I mean, that's an.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because while you were mentioning like top leaders, a name came to mind, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I already disqualified myself from reaching out to this person. So how would I go about approaching them with this opportunity? I don't know if you know who Eli Wild. So Eli Wild came to mind, and he coaches other coaches. I think he's like a nine-figure coach, and he like worked with Tony Robbins. And so I have him on my friends list, and we've had a couple conversations. So I'm thinking now, like, okay, how would I go about, I'm like, maybe I'm sitting here overthinking this one right here, right now. But yeah, I'm just, how would that even look like?
Do you keep your options open to earning additional income?
Okay.
Because here's what I know about most wealthy people is they do. So there are two types of people. There are people who need to make money because they're struggling, and there are people that are already making money who like to earn additional streams of it. Everyone falls in those two categories right now. Because let's face it, there's no middle class right now. You're either struggling to make it or you're not struggling. Both camps want money. All of it is the same, right?
Yes.
If you have somebody that is struggling to, or telling you that they don't have the money to afford the products, then it sounds like you need to talk to them about the opportunity. if somebody tells me I just can't afford it, and I'll say, well, this is an entirely different conversation. If nothing changes for you, nothing changes. Are you open to seeing what I have my hands on? My job is just to make sure everyone in my sphere of influence knows that I have something that can change their life. And the only way to make sure of that is if I tell them, and that they're seeing my actions align with what I tell them in my posting and my stories, right? And then you've just got people that just downright don't want to change their life. You'll see them the next weekend with the iPhone 16. They'll be out at the bar drinking $15 a drink. They'll have on the newest Jordans, but they don't have the money to buy your product. That's okay. Let me know when you're ready to feel better. I'll be here to help you, and you move on. Some of you are following up with the same 10 people and you're saying, no, well, marketing doesn't work. You need new people. As a matter of fact, everyone I recruit and gather as customers today are strangers. I honestly prefer it that way. Your warm market is your most skeptical market. They get on my nerves. Like my sister, for instance. Here's a great example. She just went to Vegas with me to film the podcast. She's talking about her night sweats and hot sweats. She's 10 years older than me. And I'm like, I have been trying to tell you for 2 years, Renew took mine away. But you continue to suffer, sister. I don't know what to tell you. But I've got hundreds of customers that'll listen to everything I tell them and buy what I tell them to buy. Right? So if you always get it's too expensive comment, then I would start changing that narrative in your head. I am so happy and grateful that I attract people who want what I have and purchase what I have. And say that until you attract that person. Most of you, your problem isn't the other person. It's your thoughts around what you think people think. And you're going to have to talk to yourself in ways that makes you feel crazy. Because it's not normal in your world yet. For someone who doesn't post on social media and I'm not sure what that means, David. Doesn't the whole copy and paste, where do you get the training? Okay, so I'm not sure which group that you're in, David, but there are several trainings on social media. Just so many of them out there about posting on social media. But as far as copying and pasting, you could use the content in the Telegram channel as the picture itself, and then you could just word the post however you would like to help solve the problem that's in the picture. Or we have those 60 days of social media posts done for you, that at least in the boards app for wave makers that a lot of people use, and you're welcome to use that too, that you can use that verbiage until you learn and kind of figure out how to post the things and do the things. But like with anything else, and I know this is true for me, I'm sure it was true for Bree, Aaron, everybody on here that you would consider your big leaders, is you're going to suck at first. I actually, whenever I was looking to join the company, I went back to Bree's days at It Works, and her hair was like chopped to here. She looked like a totally different human. And I was like, okay, cool. She was as bad as me. This is going to work out just fine. This is going to be just fine. She sucked real bad like me too. Right. And I tell you that because everybody sucks in the beginning. Everyone sucks at this in the beginning. I used to get embarrassed. Now I'm like, oh, this is so good. I got to share this with the team so they can see how bad I was. Right? The only way to get better at the posting is just to post and figure it out as you go, and then look back in a few years and be like, dude, I was bad, but thank God I kept going. Right? If people are just ignoring your messages, do you move on? I don't. I just keep messaging them. I'm like the itch at one point they're going to have to scratch. right? So a few things you can do if you've got people ignoring you is you can just send them a GIF like, you okay? You there? Like something funny to catch their attention. If they don't respond to that, I'm just like, yo, it's so unlike you not to respond. Are you okay? Most of the time, people aren't responding to you for a few reasons. One, they don't have enough information yet to make a decision and they don't know what to say and it just feels weird and awkward. Two, they don't have the money and they don't know, they don't want to tell you that, right? Or to come up with a solution to get over it. Three, life is busy. How many of you have ever forgotten to text someone back? Oh, everyone. It's always one of those things and all of them are overcomable, right? So if someone tells you it's the money, okay, perfect. Emily, when do you think you would have the money? Because I know how important it is for you to XYZ. Let's work on a plan to get the money. You're scared to say that because you think it's pushy, when in reality, I'm still just solving Emily's problem. And then Emily, in 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now, is going to be like, God, thank you, Tina, for not giving up on me. Just like with Jolie. I told Jolie no for 18 months. 18 months, I was like, no, I ain't doing it. And I'm embarrassed that you're doing it. Please stop. Please stop embarrassing yourself. And stop wearing all that crap that they buy if you buy at those conventions. It looks awful. I wasn't even nice. I was mean. I'm shocked she'd even want to be my friend still. But she seen something in me and believed if she could ever recruit me, it'd be life-changing. And I'm so grateful that she did. A few years ago, Donnie and I paid for her and her family to go to Disney as a thank you for her consistency and the ripple effect that her willingness to not care what I thought about her changed the lives of now hundreds of thousands of people. If you're on this Zoom, you need to be thanking Jolie because she didn't give up on me. I'm here pouring into you. Who are you not following up with that in 8 years would be talking about your name on a Zoom or whatever it is then and sharing how you impacted their life? All right, let's see if we can get one more before I jump off here. Yeah, none. I got one friend that buys consistently, but you know what? All my friends now are in network marketing, so they do buy. My best friends are in network marketing. People I talk to every day are in network marketing. I prefer to be around those people. You know why? Because they self-develop. My friends in real life are complaining about everything and the world's going to end. My friends in network marketing are like, let's go make money. I lost my boards. Yes. So we are literally, God, y'all make sure in the comments you just tell Aaron Parker, thank you 4,000 times. He is so wicked smart when it comes to technology. And we're putting together a website right now that would be an option in place of boards for people that don't want to have to pay for boards now that boards has decided to charge. Now, if you love boards and you want to pay the fee for boards, then pay the fee for boards because it works great for a lot of people. But we are putting all of that information on a website where you could still copy and paste and find all the information there that is completely free to you. Aaron is doing all the heavy lifting. I cannot take any credit for that. It's all Aaron doing all the heavy lifting on that. It's also going to have a presentation page so that you can just send a presentation that's beautifully done. It's not linked to anyone, anything that would go back to any one person. It's a safe place for you to put people in front of. We're going to be getting that out just as quickly as we possibly can to you guys, but it's going to be really beautifully done. Do you recommend your Facebook page or to be on a business page? Absolutely your personal profile. You have an 800 times advantage on your personal profile than you do on a Facebook business page. A Facebook business page is designed for you to pay to run ads. That is what they're designed for. Organic reach on a Facebook business page is going to be dang near impossible. Do it from your personal profile. I've always ran mine from my personal profile. Make sure there's not any more, and then we're going to jump off. Okay, that's it. So I've got to go and shower because I'm gross and get to Dallas, Texas, where I get to hang out with all my peeps. I love you guys. There's a lot of month left. You can accomplish. I've literally watched last month. I watched the Drapers. They were not. Let me hear me. They weren't that close to diamond. And it could only come from their two smallest legs. And they made it happen. Why? They made a decision. Before they went diamond, they decided they were diamond. What decision do you need to make right now? And then go make your work ethic match that decision. You can accomplish a lot in 2 days. You can change the entire game in 2 days. You can help a whole lot of people in 2 days. Go make it happen. Love you guys. Bye.